Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unscripted. This show is sponsored by Paxton, commonly referred to as PAX. It is a meme coin project on the Solana blockchain, positioned as a community-driven token inspired by the popular Pudgy Penguins NFT ecosystem. So go check them out. The CA is in the comments, and remember, always do your own research. This is not financial advice. So let's get into it. Tonight's guest is someone who leads with intention, not noise. She didn't just stumble into Web3. She found it as a tool, a way to open doors, create access, and help people see possibilities they were never shown growing up. Behind the titles and initiatives is a woman who believes education changes everything, who understands that technology alone doesn't create equity, people do. Whether she's sitting with families, experiencing innovation for the first time, organizing communities to stand up for their financial future, or reminding others to stay balanced and grounded while building, her work always comes back to one thing: impact with heart. She moves with purpose, she speaks with clarity, and she shows up for communities that are often overlooked, not for applause, but because she knows what access can unlock. This isn't a conversation about trends. It's a conversation about values, responsibility, and what it really means to build something that lasts. So, everyone, please help me welcome CARRIE, aka Miss NFT. Oh my goodness gracious. How are you?
Hi. Hello.
No, hello. How are you doing today?
I am amazing. We have a sunny Southern California day today. And listen, we have just a couple of more days left in the January month. So we are trying to make sure that we get the most out of it, our first month of the year.
Oh my God, didn't this month go by so fast?
It went by so fast, and February is already slammed. There's so much going on that I'm excited about, especially for 2026. So I can't wait to get into it.
You have a lot going on. I've known you for a few years. I met you in person. You are such a bright light. And I just don't know why it took us so long to connect and do an interview. But I've been wanting to interview for the longest time. So I'm glad it's finally happening.
Finally, listen, it never on schedule, but always on time.
Absolutely. So I do have a few questions for you. And then, wherever we go, because the show is called Unscripted, so
Okay.
we don't have to stay on script. And you can say whatever you want to. So there's no filters. So for the audience watching, when people hear Web3 advocate or crypto leader, they see the role, but who were you before the platform?
So before I got into crypto and Web3, I have had a business and brand development firm. So I managed businesses from law firms to clothing companies to artists, writers, and producers, developing what they had, whatever their asset was, into a brand and a lifestyle, and making sure that people's businesses were successful. I also have had a nonprofit organization that started, gosh, I started it with my husband in 2004, which currently serves about served communities and also business development and brand development is what I have been.
That is freaking
Something
awesome.
completely different, nothing to do with tech.
Nothing. Okay, so what got you into this space? At what point did you realize or discovered Web3 and then decided to build, on the blockchain?
So this is into my youngest brother just hit me and was like, you need to buy Ethereum. And I was like, I don't know what it is, but my little brother said, buy Ethereum. And so I bought a bunch of Ethereum. I think it was in a matter of maybe 6 weeks. And then I realized I needed to research about what was behind this Ethereum thing. And that's when I started to learn about blockchain technology and crypto, you know, and being that I'm coming from a nonprofit side, right, as well as a business and development side, I quickly saw how one, blockchain can impact every industry. And two, how important it was for us to give access to this type of awareness and education to communities that will not be exposed to the kind of, you know, becoming a consumer of it in the future, right? And this is in 2016. And so over time, you know, the community had been growing, then NFTs blew up, and I would host it at my blockchain or block everybody at that table. I would give them an example of how blockchain and crypto could impact their industry. And so that's kind of how I started educating community members that had nothing crypto and Web3.
That is wild. So was there a moment in your life when you realized any access or this access or the lack of it would shape your purpose and building what you're building?
Something that I already knew, right? In developing the after school program, which was an IRL that had nothing to do with blockchain and crypto, it had to do with financial access to career paths that inner city students would never know existed.
Wait, Carrie, you're breaking up a little.
And it just took it a step further areas. Financial literacy, because now we have financial innovation. And so that just showed me, hey, we're going to be having an increased gap far greater than we've ever seen before if we don't this innovative financial tool. And if we don't start sharing information about career paths in this industry, there's a lot that's going to be left out. And again, we'll have just a greater wealth gap, which is going to be a bigger problem than we've ever seen in historically.
Oh, abso-freaking-lutely. Now, this app that we're talking about, is it the Learnville app?
So I'm talking about not.
Wait, Carrie, you're breaking up. Carrie, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, because it was cutting off on my end. I don't know if it's my connection. You kind of froze, so it's missing a lot of the information that you're giving.
Okay, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute it and maybe I need to switch the Wi-Fi.
Okay. Okay, guys. Well, Carrie comes back. We are going to go on a quick commercial break. This show is sponsored by PAX. I mean, isn't he the cutest little thing? Not financial advice, but it is the year of the penguin. The penguin is everywhere. It's being reported even by the White House. Gina, baby, hello, chat. We're just waiting for Carrie to come back. She is switching her Wi-Fi. We want to make sure that we are able to hear everything that she is talking about her story, but I do want to say hello to my baby Daisy, Crypto Empress in the chat, my overpaid, underworked assistant based. Hello, Bullseye, Gina baby, hello. Thank you all of the people in the chat for joining us. Really, really do appreciate you. And if you are not tuning in and watching the show and getting to know Carrie's story, where the F are you? What the fudge are you doing? What is happening with you all? Support her, repost it, comment, get it out, people. Stop sleeping. It's the middle of the day. based, no. The cutest little thing is a little penguin. But I did tag Carrie in the comments, Miss_NFTy on X. Everyone, go to her X profile, follow her journey and what she is building, because she is doing amazing things for the community. She's doing amazing things for our youth. And we're back.
Let's see if this works.
Oh my God, yes. Look, typically it's me with the connection issues, and it's so frustrating. And no, but I wanted to make sure, okay, because I think I am missing a lot of what you're saying and it's breaking up. And I want to make sure that we're not missing anything and people really get to know your story.
Is this a little bit better?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. Okay, so let's go back a few seconds before we froze. So I know I asked you about the LearnVille app, but you were actually talking about something else.
Well, it's twofold, right? So one is the LearnVille app. So since we already had an IRL after school program, when blockchain came into play, I realized over time that this is a scalable, cost-efficient way in which we can distribute access to education. And not only just access to education, but verified education, right? So right now, LinkedIn acknowledges that there's over 33% of people that lie, or what's a nicer word to say, are not accurate, giving accurate information about their workforce history and education. And so inherently, there is this trust factor between employers when it comes to history. So industry providers of education for specific hope. So it's acknowledge that we don't create the education from scratch. Like we can teach you like we are an expert. We're not. But what we do have is the partnership with the expert. And then we just fill members, if you will. And upon completion successfully hire you for something, and say you've taken LearnVille's Magic Johnson's the business behind sports, right? You will only get a certificate saying that you took that class from us, nowhere else. Then you go and apply for a job. You automatically have a trust factor and a higher earning power. So it happens seamlessly. Now, when it comes to access to financial innovation tools and awareness on a different level, that's where it comes in, where we're consistently hosting events. Policies are out there that we need to speak and make sure that our voices are heard in policymakers' ears.
Love that. And is that, well, before we get into Stand with Crypto, the LearnVille app that, and you're creating the community impact. I spoke with you a few years ago about what you were building and, in our youth and the impact. And this is what people don't know. In this space, we're always talking about, it's like, meme coins, it's crypto, it's saturated. And I do hear people in spaces saying that there's nobody building in this space, or we're not creating tools, or we're not creating sustainability. And I'm like, but there are a lot of people that are creating amazing things out there. It's just we don't showcase them enough, or they don't have the visibility that they need to, because you are really, really impacting the community, impacting the children, impacting the youth. At what point did you say or think, you know what, I want to educate the kids on tech, financial, and then the resources that you provide to them?
So there's two parts to that, I think, is I feel a social responsibility. is my responsibility to share and make sure that I can change someone's life that has changed one person's daughter's life and their grandson's life. That means something to me. That's success to me. I'll give an example that really just lit my fire. When Gary Vee dropped VeeFriends, I minted a few. And at that time, I was sharing with my housekeeper, hey, this is coming up. I was, just educating. One, make money or right? And she sold it for a little under $100,000 in 2 months. And what she did was she bought a house, and she was living in an apartment with 7 other family members. But she bought a house maybe an hour and a half away, and that is generational wealth. That is in the doors for her and the rest of the family to really dig deeper into what this crypto, NFT, Web3 space today. And so what was that? That was a why, right? And when did I think there was a second part to the question that I didn't remember.
It's like, at what point did you, I think you kind of said it all together. It was, at one point did you realize that you wanted to help the youth, that you wanted to help them understand the tech and, focus on them?
So to clarify, it's not just kids though.
Okay.
So we started off with our target being great for job was, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it froze. It keeps, now it's starting to freeze you more. Yeah. Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay. So what we found is that it works really well for job retraining for older people, not just high school students, but people who need a new career path. And not just to be a professional in a different industry, but to not be taken advantage of as a consumer. It works in communities, online. They can do.
Oh, I lost you again.
I have
okay, there we go.
Okay. But
it's not liking you. Why is it stopping you today?
I have all my bars too. Let me see. I think
you're like, why is it doing this to you?
Yeah, it's the only thing I have open now. I closed.
Yeah, it froze you now completely.
Should I log out and log in?
You know what? Yes, try it again and see if that fixes it for a little bit. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, technology issues, it happens all day, every day. And with that being said, let's go back to Pax because he's so freaking adorable. Welcome back, everyone, to Unscripted. Tonight we have a CARRIE also known as Miss NFT. And we are having a little bit of technology issues, but we are going with the flow because that's what you do in the world of technology.
Pivot. We're pivoting.
Girl, we're going to make it work however we are going to make it work, right?
Yes.
But no, let me tell you, it happens to me all the time, and I understand sometimes it can be very frustrated, but you know what? We are going to roll with the punches.
Yes, we are. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh, yes. So it's been great for even older people for job retraining or just exposure to Web3 career paths. So Learnville is based on 4 pillars: mental health, financial literacy, Web3, and innovative career paths. So that also includes how AI and Web3 tools can impact career paths that already exist, so that it helps people become more irreplaceable versus living in fear of being replaced by technology.
I love that. Now, since inception to where you are now, how has the growth, how has the feedback, and what are you, the expansion of it? Like, where are you?
So we have 50,000 users now.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we are super excited about that. And we are looking to go global this year. And so, one of the biggest hurdles that I have with that is raising funds, donations, to translate not just the language of the courses,
Mhm.
but also to make sure it's culturally appropriate. Brands and examples that are used, the user can relate to. And so that's not something you could just use AI for, right? And
Right.
I want to make sure that I'm respectful of the various cultures and the languages that we're translating to. Otherwise, they won't get, you know, what you're saying, like people to
Yeah.
go and know all of the people that are building good things in the industry. I think maybe a lot of that has to do with marketing, right? We're a nonprofit. So it's not like we have the biggest budgets and people can. Sometimes there are companies that say, or you know what, I want to sponsor more classes in this industry, or I want to sponsor X, Y, and Z, and we can do that. But it is, you know, it's definitely more of a challenge when it is a nonprofit. I can't do marketing and do ads, paid ads, and things like that to raise more awareness without support. So partnerships are really important.
I lost you. Oh, there you go. I lost you for a second, but we're back. Okay, so where I lost you was partnerships, community members,
Just
and then
sharing
you pros.
and then sharing to raise. When we want to add more, so this is continuously, that costs money. I think any classes on, you know, from tenant rights to employment rights. Now, when it comes to protesting, there are a lot of university students that are like, what are my rights? And they're first gen students. You know, I speak at a conference every year. And
And it
so,
froze you. Oh, there you
so now it's
Yeah.
even more important, you know, and money, but just so that they're empowered with information of how to protect themselves and their families legally.
I love that. Now, for the people watching and people that want to get involved, you know, even with me, how can we help you? How can we get more involved in showcasing and promoting and, you know, maybe participating in what you are building and bring more visibility to your platform?
I thought it was how they can help support.
Yes. Did it freeze for
Where?
you too?
So we have, Here we go. But
Yes.
and it's easy because we gain on Give Butter, which helps nonprofits raise money. .org. And during the summer, right before the summer, we try to raise funds to do summer camps and winter camps right before. Don't have a lot of extracurricular kids activities if their families can afford it. Want to be a resource of giving kids something to do while they're on break that is going to be more positive for them. Text the word EdTech, ETECH, and then they'll be texted a link to the Learnville fundraiser.
That is so freaking awesome. I am going to repost it later and have everyone direct them to you as well and share it in more group chats just to bring a lot more visibility and awareness on what you're building. Now, I do have a question because, you are also the California president of Stand with Crypto. So you're helping shape policy. Did you ever imagine yourself in rooms where laws are discussed? And what got you into that?
Okay, I'm gonna move this.
Okay.
I'm moving because I'm worried, like, if it's my Wi-Fi, then maybe I need to get closer to the Wi-Fi, even though I haven't had it bad before.
Isn't it crazy how, oh my gosh, why it does it? It's,
Yeah. Now I'm literally, even though all my bars for the Wi-Fi exist, they are up and they are running. I will have a different background. Let's see if this is better. Even though I had all my bars, listen, it doesn't hurt to try.
we're just gonna go with it. It's going to be a comfortable, like we're sitting at the couch, Carrie.
By the end of this, you're gonna see all of the backgrounds in my house.
You're like, we're going to go pick a spot that lets you.
No, I never thought that I would be in a room with politicians, talking to Congress members, talking to assembly members, and really helping to outline and write some of the laws that are coming into play right now. To be a voice for, I am honored to represent. I really to get involved with Stand with Crypto to some capacity, even if it's just having your email registered with us, because that gives us the power when we're going to speak to Congress. There are individual state laws, and then there's to give us the power to say, hey, in the United States, 8 million voters, but people are more inclined to listen to what you have to say. So if you simply just provide your email address to register with Stand with Crypto as an advocate, that helps increase our power and our voice.
Really, just a simple registration of your email. That's it. That's all it takes.
Absolutely. If that is just what, at the capacity that you want to go, like if you don't want to be out in public or you don't want to, do anything excessive, right? You just say, hey, like I want to support, I am in Web3 to some capacity, but I don't have time to really do anything. Just put in your email address and register, and I can give you a link. Is there a way for me to add to the chat?
Yes, you can add to the chat. You should be able to, if you go to the your right side, there's going to be like graphics chat. You can add it there. Or yes. And if not, if you send me the link internally private chat, I can post it under the comments.
I just put it in our X chat right there. But when people put in their email address, that's great. Now, if they want to take it a step further and they're really busy too, you can you can type in your address and your zip code, and it'll show you who your representatives are.
Oh,
And
wow.
it'll say you want to email your representative to support you in Web3 and crypto. And then you just click yes, and it automatically sends them an email, your representative an email. So in a matter of maybe 30 seconds.
That is wild. Okay, so now that you are in there, you've gotten your toes wet or your feet are deep in the water. What
Yes.
oppositions that do you see? Like, what obstacles, and is it just difficult to try to implement?
I think that a couple of the biggest obstacles we have issue. Like if you are a partisan pro crypto, they think that you are pro Trump, and they're very different things. And that's one of the I want to say that's probably the biggest thing that we combat in our conversations with policymakers and people too, right? Because people look at it
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, you're pro crypto, that means you're pro Trump." And Trump is doing what they say these scams are taking all this money he shouldn't do. Specifically, I hear a lot of this on the Dem side, and I'm hearing this from college students. College students,
Really?
yes, college students are saying, hey, it's important for, and so that know, and community as a whole get the real information. Trump is a pro crypto person and force for the United States, which is a feels. But when it comes to and what he does and what he has done more than anyone else to advance our progress in the United States. And that's what we want. We want legislation that helps protect people, us, the users, and builders, so that we feel safe in building more innovative tools in the United States versus builders and creators going to do this in other countries. It like some of these countries that are leading in this innovation are nothing close to what the United States is, but it's because now we're open it now this world because of this administration, and this is the one area that we're saying we support. We're policymakers stand when it comes to crypto, and that is all we're sharing, and that is all we're helping to make are aware of. And so I think that sharing that message really comes from people, the real constituents, the real voters, the real people that are in crypto, and being able to have their voices heard. And then that humanizes them when it comes to talking to Congress members and policy makers. They're like, oh, so you're a teacher and you got into crypto and this is how it's benefiting you and your family. This is how it's impacted you. Now they're starting to see it from a different perspective. That's a Trump thing, right? It's a people thing. And for the people to have this tool in a safe way, that opens up the doors for Americans as a whole.
That is amazing. Why do you think there's such a huge misconception that crypto Trump? Is it because he's been one of those leaders that has been very open about crypto versus others? Because I think that there are other leaders that have crypto or have had it, but for some reason they don't talk about it much because of the backlash.
Yeah, I definitely believe that because of the lack of awareness and education that constituents have,
Mhm.
frowned upon by the people that are going to be reelecting those policymakers, if that's right.
Yes.
Like every politician has to be reelected at some point unless they've reached their max terms. Constituents are not so confident in crypto or anti-crypto because of Trump or some other reason, scams and things like that, then they're not going to hear the person that they love be pro-crypto without understanding. And so this is where I say that bringing education and awareness and understanding is vital. And that way more constituents
Yeah.
can better support it and have a voice as we're creating well.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I know we're coming up to the hour and there's so much to talk about. You next month, right? Yes, February, what, around the 10th or so, you are actually going to be speaking at a university, a big prominent university. Is it Stafford or did I get it wrong? Wait, can you hear me?
You were frozen for a second.
Oh my
I
God.
heard
Okay, so
prominent,
it's
prominent university I got.
okay. I don't want to butcher it, but is it Stafford that you are going to be Stanford? Wait. Stanford. We got it right. Yes. Okay. And now, did I freeze? You know what? Let me. On Monday. Wait. Okay. So you are going to be speaking at a big university. Tell us what that conversation is going to look like. And are more universities looking for people that are within this space to come and talk to their college students? And how did you get involved?
Okay, I'm super excited about this. So yes, Monday is the Future in Tech Stanford Forum. And I will be flying up there and sharing where we stand when it comes to policy in Web3, what we're looking out for in 2026. It's a big year. We made our first step forward when it comes to legislation last year with the Genius Act passing, but we have a lot more work to do as a community. So I'm super excited to share what has happened, what needs to happen, and get it from our builders, right? Our future builders and change makers are university students. And granted, not all of them are university students that are going to be builders and changers, right?
Yeah.
Solutions, like pouring ideas and pouring into this pool of information that I have is going to be benefiting to me and what I'm sharing and able to come up with in conversations with policymakers too, because they're seeing problems that we may not see based on, women, how it's changed. And so I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what are the world issues and see what their solutions are for world issues utilizing blockchain. With Stand with Crypto is we launched a university program. And this November at the University Blockchain Summit in Michigan, we have about 40 universities that we now have Stand with on campuses now. And so I'm super excited about that. And that is a way that we're touching this next generation of builders and change makers from inside of the universities, the blockchain clubs. So we're working together to have a stronger impact and make sure that we're giving and receiving information on a regular basis and hopefully being more impactful. So Stanford is one of our schools. Berkeley is one of our schools. I hosted last week, and we had 4 universities that are now Stand with Crypto chapters from Southern California. So I am so excited for all of this energy these students have. I mean, it makes my heart warm. It brings me so much joy.
Isn't it amazing? I didn't attend the Michigan conference last year, but I did the first year that they started. And it was just an amazing thing to see how many bright minds are out there. To me, it was a plethora of students, colleges that were brainstorming on what to build and the creativeness on the blockchain. And you
Yes.
really don't see a lot of that in this space. I am all over. I do feel like in the crypto, but nobody really knows about what these college students are building and just the bright minds and how they are thinking. I hate to say outside of the box because to me, a box doesn't exist. You just create period. But it's just wild to see how these students think. And can you imagine if you pair them up with the people that are already seasoned in the space, the devs, whatever it is, with the mindset of these students? I mean, I think they can propel the space further a lot faster.
Absolutely. And keep in mind that these are universities all across the United States, not just in the state of California. And so if there are any university students to start a Stand with Crypto chapter on your campus, please reach out. We want to make sure that we're touching as many communities. There's 50 states. We got a lot of universities that we can help. And when I say help, I'm going to be a resource for you, to mentor you and provide reliable information. And at some points, fly you out to DC to participate in some of these conversations that we're having with Congress.
I love that. So everyone, please hit up CARRIE Miss NFT, go to the comments, sign up. If you do believe in our space, in the crypto space, then you got to stand with crypto. I know I definitely am going to sign up after this, but I do want to talk a little bit about how you balance everything, faith, work, inner work. You often talk about it, and how do you protect your inner life while carrying a lot of public responsibility?
Balance is key. Something that I talk about with people is like, you are first a woman or first a man, right? So who you are with nobody around needs to be fueled. And I think we all have these little buckets. So first, make sure what refuels you. For me, refueling me is I'm either at spin class or a hot yoga, or I'm going for a hike. I start my day with that because it really that I need to get rid of. It
Yeah.
helps bring clarity to some of the things that I'm dealing with and putting things into perspective. And then I'm starting like I feel like I'm starting with a clean slate. And I take a shot of celery juice every morning. Just like health is wellness, right? So my body is
Yeah.
okay. But then I have to also fuel the business entrepreneur me. So what fuels the mom in me? And so make sure that you are fueling all of your little buckets so that you are balanced, because you can give so much more to the world. You are fueling yourself. And so being
Oh my
self-aware,
gosh. Yes.
that'll make all.
I mean, and you have such a beautiful energy about you. And I can definitely say that with confidence because I was around you, in person. And you just bring this zen, this peace. It's like not a lot of people give that. I am one of those where I respect energy, and I think you are one of those people. Now, when we have women, men, high schoolers, college, whoever's entering in this space and building, one of the things that is very difficult to do is set boundaries, because you're trying to get in the ends, you're trying to learn the space. Sometimes you're doing things, and you're not protecting the peace. What boundaries did you have to learn the hard way, and what advice would you give people? And it's okay to set boundaries and to say no.
I think it's important to take note of something. Most people never find their passion. Most people are doing things to kind of figure it out, or they know that they can get paid but they aren't inspired and excited to get up and work every day. If you find your thing, and it doesn't mean it has to be Web3, right? So I'm talking about as a whole, across the board. If you find your passion, that's when you're going to want to get up and work 24/7, and people come to you and they're like, how can you do so much? How do you have all this energy? And you're like, honestly, doing it refuels me.
Yeah.
So yes, it takes so much energy to do what I do, but people having these conversations like with you, doing some of our events, talking to these students, it gives me so much more energy. And so yes, you'll need your balance and like that, but there are times that you just want to go, go, go. And that is a good thing, right? So even though when you create boundaries, so for example, my boundaries are I have my time in the morning. 3 days a week, it's the same time. The other 2 days a week, it's at a different time. And then on the weekend, it's whenever I want it to be. I only have meetings and Zooms only 2 days a week. That's my because that means that I can get things done that I need to get done on the other 3 business days, right? And of course, you can have, break those boundaries every now and then because there are certain things that need to happen. But that just I can make sure that I execute and be successful what my version of success is for that day. It's so measure your growth. So for example, if you goal like I want to do X, Y, and Z by the end of the year, great. So year. So that way every week you've contributed something towards your goal, and you've also contributed something towards your personal health and growth and well-being and to your family, right? So it doesn't have to be all structured out. For some people it may need to be. For me, I don't like all structured out because I like spontaneity as well. But then if you talk to somebody like my daughter needs everything mapped out. Her calendar is on point. Her notes are on point. She sends me reminder lists, and I'm like, I've never used my reminder list on my phone in my life.
Like, what is this?
She's got it nailed, And so there's no one answer for everyone. So I think that go with what works best for you. If you're not self-motivated, then be around people that are, because that will literally give off on you. The energy will come off on you, and that'll people that you're around really impact your productivity and your joy or lack thereof, right? So take a mental note about your surroundings and the people around you. Even a space can give you that energy where you're not productive. Like I know in my old house, it was just kind of dark and airy enough, and so my office at that house, it was like I never wanted to be there to work, and my energy just wasn't as vibrant, and I needed a change, and so I worked out of the home more often, not in my home office. But that's the same thing for everyone else. Like you might work better in a certain environment, but you're not putting yourself in that environment to be exposed to that or to flourish like that.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. And that hit me to the core because a couple of years ago, I was in Texas in a different house. And, I did work from there. And I just felt that at one point towards the end, I couldn't function anymore. I sold the house, moved to Arizona. Now I'm in an environment where I feel I'm thriving a lot more. But you also said another thing that is very true. It has to do a lot with your company, the people that surround you. It's like be around the people that you envision where you want to go. Because a lot of the people, there's a season for everybody. And you may grow with some and you may not grow with others. And it can be temporarily. You'll learn valuable lessons. And then once you stop learning those lessons, then you have to move on to the next. But you just hit it right on the on the money, girl. Like you nailed
Happy
that.
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy hump day. Okay. Are you going to be going to ETH Denver?
Yes, I will be at ETH Denver. What's going on? So if you are going to be there, connect with me.
I am going to be there, and this is why I'm asking, because I actually would love to do a sit down with you in person in Denver, if, of course, time permits, because I know you probably are going to be busy. I am going to be going to, I'm being sponsored, so I have to create content and stuff like that. But I would love to actually do a sit down with you and record it or live stream or something, you know.
We will do it. I will be there the entire time. We are one of the sponsors of the conference, so I will be there.
Then I can come and interview you in your element, you know, do a little shots, videos. I think that would actually be great. And, you know, it won't be an hour long, it'll be a few minutes, but I think that would be amazing to come and do a few shots while you are
I
doing
am
what you're
here.
doing, loving what you're doing.
I'm gonna support in any way that I can. I appreciate it. By the way, I'm such a fan of your background.
Oh, thank you. I'll send it over and you can use it on any of your I'm gonna change it for February, so I change it every month. Oh, my background. I thought you know what? Never mind. Now I know what you mean. My background, I got those on Amazon. Guys, it's panels on Amazon. Anybody can get them and put them back there. And then lights, change colors. So,
The lights. Yeah, that's what it is. Because in my office, I kind of thing I had them put on the wall and it's painted gold, but I don't have any lights.
it's the light. Look, I will send you the links to those lights. They're different type of lights and you can change them colors and it makes such a huge difference. So maybe for lovers month next month, you know, I'll change the color to red,
Red.
pink, whatever.
Look at you.
Red, but you know it's bearish. Crypto is red bearish, but yes, red for all the
Okay.
lovers out there.
So if y'all see me with this background next month, don't say nothing, okay?
No, look, we don't judge here. If you get this background next month and you do red lights, then you have to come on just for a little bit so we can be twinsies. Yes. Oh my gosh. I am so excited to see you next month.
We're gonna do it. Well, we definitely will be in IRL for sure, at bare minimum.
Are there any pieces of nuggets or anything that you can give us that may be happening there at Denver or anywhere throughout the year?
You know, for those of us in crypto, it's really important that you make your voice heard when it comes to policymakers right now. There are a few really big things that I don't know if people are so aware of, but one, in the state of California specifically, we are not allowed to stake. And that is a big deal. And over $10 million has been lost. No, I want to say $101 million has been lost that could have been earned in staking in the state of California, but it is not legal. And so that is something that we're working on this year. Number two, in the Genius Act that was passed last year, it says that we are allowed to have crypto rewards, just like credit cards have rewards and banking have rewards, buy miles, things like that. Now that it's been approved in the Genius Act, banks started a nonprofit in December to roll back crypto rewards. And their argument is that we get so much more rewards that they can't give it to us in banks, that people aren't going more. It'll be in stable coins and crypto so that they can earn rewards, which to me, I'm like, give people equal and fair rewards, something competitive, just being mad and crying about it. And now you're going to spend this money to try to roll back policy that has already been approved and is barely. So if things like that matter to you, that's when I say sign your email up with Stand with Crypto and email your representative saying you want crypto rewards. We want staking. And there are other things that are going to be coming up throughout the year. Something else for the state of California, we are going to be launching in a few new counties. Right now, Stand with Crypto represents a little under 3. I would like for Stand with Crypto to at least represent 500,000 by the end of next year. Now, for some context, The United States has over 52 million crypto natives. We only represent under 3 million. So there's a lot of people that can put in their email address and say they stand with crypto and policy, right? And so it enables us to be that much more powerful. And if you want to get more active, I am so ready and willing and able to hear ideas, suggestions, and bring on more community members to support.
I am definitely going to get involved, especially because I do a lot of business here in crypto. And, you know, a lot of us, that's where we make our majority of our income. And for us not to get involved and understand what is happening at that level is insane. It's a while. Like, what the fudge are we doing if we're not getting involved, right? It's like, make that make sense.
It's so crazy to me. But listen, I'm doing and then Tuesday I will be in the California gubernatorial debate. So I have some questions to ask as it pertains to crypto during our California debate. So that's in San Francisco on Tuesday.
That is amazing. Do you do any spaces? Like, I would love for you to come on a space and talk about all this, and maybe after when you get settled, because I know you are super busy. And this is, you just gave a lot of
Yes.
information that a lot of us don't know, you know, especially with the staking and stuff. It's like we hear about the act, everything on a surface level, but we have not really gone deep. And a lot of the spaces that I am, you know, trading crypto,
Yeah.
they really don't talk a lot about the stuff that you're speaking about. Okay, I am going to get something together with the girls and then we can educate people a little bit more. But once you come back, that way you can also tell us about your speaking events, how everything went, what is your feel, what did you get from it, and all of that fun stuff.
I love it. Let's do it. Committed.
Yes. Okay, Carrie, before we close up, is there any advice or any wisdom or any quotes that you would love to leave us with?
There's a quote that I use forever for a long time, I'll say. And it's not pertaining to Web3 specifically, but it's for life. And it's change takes change. And you are the only person that you are in control of for change. And so, what that really means to me is if I want something different in my life, if I want something different in the industry that I'm in the career path, whatever it may be, then I am responsible to initiate and to execute that change. Now, when it comes to personal life, change takes change. How you receive somebody's words and actions will only change. You only have control over how you receive them, not what they do. So if somebody says something that makes you mad, it's your choice to be mad.
Yeah.
If you expect that from them, then maybe it's, hey, I can't value their words at that level anymore because that will disrupt my peace. So you can only change you. Industry and to work, change takes change. Well, if you want to change in how the government is treating you, then we have to raise our voices. Us are doing in the United States right now, uplifting our voices and pressed in other various ways so that we can spark change, not just talk about it, right? Change how we perceive things, how we're receiving information, how we're comprehending things, and how we're working together. Those are all things that we have the ability to change.
I love that. It's like mic drop. I want to thank you very much for taking the time to come and join us for a little bit, even with these technology issues that we had here for a minute, and being a trooper about it, and really appreciate your leadership in this space. You know, it's when I look at leadership, it doesn't have to be performative. It can be steady. it can be thoughtful, it can be rooted in service, and you embody that and so much more. And really appreciate you. And I cannot wait to sit with you and talk more and partake and stand with crypto and maybe be another voice in change. But I will see you in Denver, and I would love to have you back and in spaces.
Yes, done and done.
Done and done. Well, good night, everybody, and go follow Carrie, Ms_NFTy on X. And if you're not following her and getting involved, then you really don't like crypto. What the fudge are you doing with your life? Good night, everyone. Bye.